Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Heather. I am the owner and author behind townsandhouse.com, where we help you implement systems and strategies in order to overcome the chaos and cultivate simplicity in your home and homeschool. I'm a homeschool mom of 3 kids, and we live in Maine. And today I'm very excited because I am doing a review of the Simplified Teacher Planner. I have never received this planner before. I've never purchased it. I did purchase this one on launch day, and I'm really excited to take a look at it with you. I'm going to do a full walkthrough and give you my opinion as we go through the pages together, and then I will come back at the end and do some final comments, I guess. So let's get started. So here is the teacher planner from Simplified. This is their second year doing this planner. Last year, the binding was actually, it had this O-binding, this O-ring binding, but it was inside like a binder, I guess. So you could not fold it in on itself, which I think a lot of people were complaining about. I did not get one of these planners last year, so I do not know as much about the quality or the changes that they have made. So let's get right into it. When you open up the planner, you are going to first have this little pocket in the front. It's nice to have a pocket, but the problem that I have with this pocket is that it's like glued in, so there's a little lip behind here that when you try and put paper in, it does not work as well as it could, I believe. I did eventually get one piece of regular 8.5 by 11 printer paper in there, and then I was able to slide 4 more pieces in without too much trouble. But for me personally, the pocket really isn't going to be used in this planner for me. And then you're going to see the front page. It just says, the Simplified Teacher Planner, the year, and then belongs to. And then when you go to the next page, it has a nice letter from Emily, who is the founder and CEO of Simplified, and then also the administrative director, Taylor. And then you're going to start moving into the regular pages here. Now, the pages are they're quite thick, and it does have laminated tabs. They're not all that thick, but I think that they would hold up just fine as long as you're not, ripping the pages. So it's going to have this About Me page with what I really like are these 3 goal sections here. And then also some About Me information over here, resources, usernames, passwords, professional development. I wouldn't necessarily use these. I don't need to put my school or anything like that, but I would definitely use these goals for the year, just a few little things that I want to focus on in my homeschool. I think that would be a really great addition to my planning time at the beginning of the year. And then as far as the resources, it's possible to just write down some of the resources if my husband needed to look for something and he was doing school with the kids for a few days if I was away or whatnot. It would be nice for all of that information to be available. And then you're going to move into this prep section, which honestly I think is one of my favorite parts of this entire planner. I love prep work. I use the Cultivate What Matters Power Sheets Goal Planner, and there's an entire section of prep work at the beginning of that. And so having some of similar questions to look at, I think is just such a great idea. And I definitely am going to incorporate this into my planning for this school year. Looking back and looking ahead, ideas for new routines, what worked, what didn't, things I'd like to do with my class this year, which obviously would be with my homeschool kids, my actual kids. And then it moves into a weekly routine and a daily routine. I really think this is a nice idea to sort of have what is the plan for the week, not necessarily like an ideal schedule, but just, what days are you going to focus on which things? I know we use a lot of Brave Writer resources and they have Free Write Fridays, so you could certainly put that on here. Or if there's a day, my daughter has participated in the band for the past few years. I'm not sure if we'll continue doing that next year or not, but so having that kind of information on the schedule so you know what to expect already is a good idea. And then these daily routines, I think more or less are geared toward teachers. What do you want to do before school and after school, sort of to get ready for the day when you're teaching and to sort of wind down and decompress from your day of teaching? I could certainly use those for my own daily routines. But I probably would not necessarily use a daily routine. I have mine down pretty pat. We are completing our 10th year of homeschool this year, so I kind of know what my rhythm is, my seasonal rhythms, my daily rhythms, and whatnot. Then you are going to move into these student info sections, and I believe there are 6 spreads of these student info sections. And what I would do, obviously I don't have that many students, or any other parents for that matter, so I would change these into book logs. I would use, because there's 6, I would have 2 for each kid. One would be for books that I'm reading to them, and one would be for books that they are reading to themselves. I think keeping a book log is really important. It helps me keep track of what everybody's learning throughout the year. And so to have that information right up at the front, I would just relabel these right here. I would just put, date, name of book, and author. That's what I have typically done before. So that is really nice to have all of those pages right up at the front. And then, let's see, there might actually be way more than 6. Now I want to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so yeah, six spreads of these student info pages, and then you're going to move into values and procedures. What are your core values? This would be something really nice to work on for a vision statement for your homeschool. What is your homeschool vision? What is your homeschool mission statement? What are the things that are important to your family? And then over here, I really love this section, education inspiration, to make some sort of like a vision board for the year. And in fact, I think that I might actually do this with my kids this year for their school year, just to get some poster board and make a vision board for each one of them. Or they can make them and I will make my own, so that we each have, what is motivating us? What are the things that we really want to work on education-wise for the year? And then you're going to move into substitute info and emergency info. Obviously, this substitute info is not really needed. You could certainly put other information here. It could just be repurposed as extra notes pages. And then you move into the checklist pages, and just like with the student info pages, there are 6 of these spreads, and you can't add any more. So there are only 6 spreads, which would mean each of my kids could have 2 of these spreads. What I have done in the past is actually used in the Erin Condren Teacher Planner, you have the option to get extra checklist pages, and I have used these for habit tracking. I write down all of the subjects and anything that's important that I want to cover in a month up at the top, and then I write the days of the month on the side. And so each day that my kids do something in that subject area, or work on that character quality, or are good with their chores or whatnot, morning routine, whatever it is, I would put a check mark. And then at the end of the month, I can look back and see, well, where were we doing really good, and where did we need some help? Are there places that I need to concentrate on for the following month? Now I actually use my own daily habit tracker printable that I have made. I will leave a link for that below in the description box if you're interested. I have a whole blog post about how I use that daily habit tracker. I think that it's really important to keep track of everything that you do in a day with your kids, because I really do believe that every day you are learning something. It may not specifically look like school, but you are always learning, whether it's a life skill, whether it is baking or cooking, or, getting outside for a hike, for physical activity. There's so many different ways that you can figure out learning opportunities. And so I think that having a checklist that shows the big picture of an entire month is a really helpful tool, especially in the beginning years when you feel like you're not doing enough or maybe you need to do more. So there are 6 of these spreads, and then it goes into the calendar section. And this is really nice. It has a full 2020 and 2021 calendar. I love these spreads because I use them to map out our entire year. Are there days that we are definitely going to take off? Well, yes, we we take off. Everybody's birthday is a holiday in our house, so we usually take off those days, and typically we will actually take the entire week off for the kids' birthdays. They're spread out in the year enough so that it ends up being a good time for us to take time off from homeschool. Our year does start in July, and so I will put, first day, and I will count out how many days we're doing school, if there are vacations that we're going on. We tend to take December off, although we do some learning in here. It is just different than our normal book learning for the year. And it's helpful to sort of see how many days of school you have, how many days you need. In Maine, we are required to do 175 days, and I like to keep track of that. I can write how many days we do in each month just right here. I also write it on the monthly calendar spread, which I'll show you in a second. So it is nice to have all of that information just right in front of you for the year. And then they do also include the holidays, the 2020 holidays and 2021 holidays and their dates. There are some extra days in here, not too many. I know that there are these calendars that have like a holiday every day, ice cream day, spider day, all kinds of different things. And we tend to use some of those sometimes. But this is a good basic list of all of the main holidays that we have in the United States. And so it's nice to have that available. And then you move into the school year overview. And one thing that I really like about this particular overview is that because this planner starts in August, I like that it starts the school year overview in August. I use an Erin Condren teacher planner, and I have for the past 5 years, and the yearly overview actually starts in January, which is a little odd since their teacher planner starts in July. So it's, it starts with January over here and then goes through December. So July is up on the second page. It's not a big deal, but I do really like that this starts with the month that this particular calendar starts with. And then a daily overview. Again, this is sort of like that, the daily section at the beginning, where you can sort of write out what are the things that typically are going on during the day. And then you're going to move into notes pages, and I did notice that there are only 6 note page spreads, and then 6 2-page spreads of lined notes, and then 6 2-page spreads of graph paper. And each lined page and graph page has a little flag which matches the color of the particular month. So what I would imagine is that they're saying this page is for August, and then the page with this navy blue flag for the graph paper is also for August. And then, September, and it just goes through the entire year, and each page has a different flag color. I think that that's a really great idea to sort of differentiate between which notes pages are for which month. However, I do kind of wish that these notes pages were lined up with the months themselves, either right before the monthly spread or right after, just to sort of have all of that information together instead of flipping all the way back to the front of the planner. Like if you're in January and then you have to flip all the way back to here to look at your notes for that month, I feel like it would be better to have the notes pages right before the month itself. So there are these 6 line spreads and then the graph paper. And I use the line paper and graph paper mainly as planning pages, just taking notes, writing out themes or things that I want to do for the year, and just having it all available right on the paper right here is great for me. I really like to be able to pre-plan. Things don't always go to plan, so it's nice to have sort of a big picture and then be able to take from that throughout each month for your weekly plans. And then once you get through the graph paper, you get to the monthly spreads, and they are just so clean and so beautiful and simple. It's such a nice planner to look at. It's not distracting. You can write out any notes that you have for the month over here. I like to keep a tally of days, so I keep how many days that we've done previous to this month, as well as the days of this month, and I just keep going up until we hit our 175 days. And so this is a beautiful monthly spread. It does, let me switch to, it does have the holidays listed on the days in a light gray type, so that is really nice. And then you see there are different colors for each day of the week, which when we move into the weekly lesson plans you'll see. And like I said, each month has a different color tab, and that correlates to the lined pages, etc. at the beginning. So then you move into the meat of the planner, which are these weekly planning pages, and they are dated, and they go through the entire year, starting with August 1st all the way to July 31st. And there are 6 columns up at the top, and how I use these is I have a column for each child, and then I have subjects that we work on sort of together, like read alouds. My older 2 do history and science together for the most part. Next year it will be different because Emma is going to be in an upper level core. We use Sunlight history, Bible, literature programs for the most part, but I do my own planning for that. So we are going to have to adjust how we use it, but this is similar to the Erin Condren Teacher Planner with the 6 columns and then the notes down the side, which this could obviously be used as a 7th subject or however you want to use this. I tend to write if we have any appointments or if the kids have band or tennis or any practices, anything that we have to be out of the house, I will write in here. And then I write their individual work in each column, and then the work that we're going to be doing together over here. And this is mainly if I need to take notes, or I like to do circle time with Lucy because she is still my littlest one at just 5.5 right now. So this goes through the entire year, every week of the year. I do like this binding. I was a little concerned that it might not turn the pages very well, but it does turn the pages just fine. And then at the end, you move into these beautiful stickers. And honestly, these stickers are just so pretty. These little golden pineapples. I almost want to keep the planner specifically for the stickers. All kinds of different icon stickers. They are shinier, so I'm not sure if you could like write on them so easily. These are so pretty. I think these are somebody draws these themselves, and they are just so pretty. Oh, this one's really cute. And then different, these correlate to the different month colors, which is nice that you have these. Need coffee. I need that like all the time. And then these ones at the end. Sorry, my camera died there. Then we just have these last flag stickers, and like I said, they do correlate to the different colors of the months. I do think you would have to use a Sharpie pen to write on these because they are a little bit shiny. And I think like my Stettler pens that I typically use for planning would most likely slide right off of this. So now I am going to sit back down and look at the camera again and give you some of my final thoughts about this planner, and also talk a little bit about the giveaway that I'm going to do. I really, really like this planner. I think that this would make a perfect planner for a homeschooler. I know it is a teacher planner, and because of that, it is geared towards teachers. However, I think that the streamlined functionality of this planner would be perfect for homeschoolers. I especially like the lesson planning pages. I think that it's great that they're all dated, that it gives you an entire year to work through. That's really important to me as a homeschooler. We do homeschool year round, so when there's only 36 weeks of planning pages in a homeschool planner, that makes it difficult for me because there are weeks that we take off, but we are still learning. There are some times when I'm doing lesson planning, pre-lesson planning, etc. So I really like that there's a full year of plans in this planner. I also just love how simple it is. It is so pretty. The paper is nice and thick, and I think that it would be a perfect planner for a homeschooler. The only drawback that it has for me personally is that it starts in August, and I run our homeschool years July to June. I'm not sure really why I started doing July to June. I think it's mainly because in Maine, the state of Maine considers a school year for the public school from July 1st through June 30th. So I just picked up on that. It's what I'm used to. And so the fact that it starts August 1st, I think is the only drawback of this planner for me. But I think that it would work wonderfully for any homeschooler. I love the prep pages at the beginning, and it's something that I think I'm going to incorporate regardless of the planner that I end up using this year. So I am going to definitely go through and sort of jot some of those questions down so that I can have them to when I go to start really planning my year, when I sit down and really start thinking through all of our resources and everything. Yeah, so I hope that you liked this video, and if you're not subscribed, I'd love for you to subscribe. And I am doing a giveaway of this planner, this actual planner, because I know that I will not be using it this year. So it is opened. However, I have not written in it or anything like that. It will come in all of the original packaging, that beautiful robin's egg blue box. It will be in that box, and once I can figure out how to mail it, if I can go to the post office, that's what I will do, or I will have the mailman pick it up at our house because we are in our quarantine still. So anyways, if you have any questions about this planner, please leave them in the comments below. I would love to talk to you about this planner. It is such a beautiful one. I did buy a package, so I'm going to also be filming a review of the daily planner that I purchased, and I'm not sure if that will actually be up before the teacher planner or not. It depends on how my editing goes. But thank you again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.